All right, guys. So we're going to get into chapter 7, ropes and knots. As I was talking about, we'll make sure that you guys, hopefully, I'm looking into it. Hopefully, I'll get you guys some sticks of rope so we can practice that stuff. But we got to go through some of the basics right now. Chapter 7, notes. Here is learning objective number 1, differentiate between life safety rope and utility rope. Very important to understand the difference between these. So, life safety rope is used rescue and emergency operations. It's used for raising, lowering, supporting firefighters during training, and not to be used for utility purposes. Construction is only block creel construction using continuous filaments. Virgin fibers for load-bearing elements is substantial. This rope should never have been used before for this kind of stuff. Whenever it has been shock loaded, it's got to be pulled out. And basically, you want to look at this. Life safety, when we talk about life safety rope, basically what we're talking about is rope that is used to save someone's life. Okay, this is somebody hanging off of this rope. That's what life safety rope is. So in contrast to that, life safety rope, we'll talk about contrast in a second. Life safety rope, maintaining, manufacturers provide information about use, inspection, maintenance, and retirement. So, how is it used? What is it used for? How do we inspect it? How do we maintain it, clean it, maintain it, store it? And then when does it need to be retired? Rope must pass field inspections, criteria to be reused for life safety. No abrasion or visual damage, no exposure to heat or direct flame, no exposure to impact loads, and no exposure to materials that can deteriorate the rope. So, in other words, after this rope has been used, the only way it can actually go back into service is if it has none of these possibilities surrounding it. Life safety rope, maintain a rope log throughout rope's working life. Must be permanently identified by making or labeling it, and remove rope from service. If it is subjected to impact loads, fails inspections, has been used as utility rope, or is marked for destruction, then it's going to be removed. Refer to SOPs for reclassification or destruction. So when these ropes get reclassified, the life safety is reclassified. Either it's going to be destroyed or it's going to be reused differently. And here's the alternative, or what we're talking about is utility rope. Utility rope is used for hoisting equipment, securing stable objects, and cordoning off areas. Okay. Industrial standards must be NFPA standards. Downgraded life safety rope may be used for utility rope and inspect for damage regularly. So utility rope is rope that we use for tools, equipment, to tie things off, to cordon off areas, to create a zone around areas. This is not used to hang your life off of or someone else's life off. That makes sense, okay? And utility rope typically is rope, life safety rope that has gone through that impact load, has some sort of minor damage that will not allow us to use it as life safety, but is still usable as utility rope. So very important we understand the difference between this. And I'm going to tell you right now, in our classroom, I have 4 bags of rope. All of those ropes are utility ropes. Even though we'll talk about the different types of ropes that are out there, and you'll realize that these were at one point life safety ropes. They are actually have been impact loaded, they have been damaged, and now they're simply just training, so they become utility ropes. And in our classroom, we don't actually use them to carry each other at all, other than actually hoisting tools and stuff like that. So it's definitely useful for that stuff. The sticks of rope I give you will be life safety rope that I got from a friend of mine, and actually that rope, which would have been used as life safety, has been downgraded to utility. And the reason that rope has been downgraded to utility rope is because it had some mold on it, had some rot in it. Inside the bag, before it actually got put out into use, it got wet, and the rope, since it's not, wasn't being cleaned properly, ended up getting a little bit of mold on, which is easy to clean off, but it's been damaged and it can't be used as life safety anymore. So some of the rope you'll get, it doesn't have mold on it, trust me, but it's no longer life safety. Is now utility. That's why I've cut it down. Okay, so moving on to objective 2, describe the various materials and methods used to construct rope. Okay, so Rope material, synthetic fibers used for life safety and utility ropes, and natural fiber, which are very unusual nowadays, but they still are out there, used only for utility rope. The natural fiber is the hemp fiber. I'm sure you guys have seen these ropes a long, long time ago. They're the really rough brown color, rough ropes. And you almost cut yourself on these ropes sometimes because they're just the fibers are sticking out all over the place. That's natural fiber. Synthetic is what you typically see for most rope that's out there now. And a lot of times, most of us might know this from people who do mountaineering, rock climbing, that kind of stuff. Rope construction materials, main difference between synthetic and natural fiber ropes, and affects use of longevity. Natural fibers lose strength when wet or rot rapidly. So again, big downfall of the natural fiber is they rot out, and they lose their strength pretty quickly. So we really can't use those as life safety anymore, even though in the past it's all we had and that's what we used. We don't do that anymore. The big difference between synthetic and natural fiber, synthetic rope, we can make let's say we have a 300-foot strand of rope, right? We can make fibers that run 300 feet long, okay, continuous, no break in that fiber all the way through. So that's your synthetic rope. This is why it makes it extremely strong, because the natural fiber is sections of, let's say, 10-foot sections of natural fiber that are woven together. So you have consistent breaks inside that rope all the way through. It still is strong, it still works well, but obviously I'd much rather hang from something that has 300 feet of continual non-broken sections of fibers inside. And so the synthetic rope makes more sense for life safety. Synthetic rope fibers, polyurethane, polyester, nylon, polystyrene, Kevlar, and Spectra are what you typically would find for these types of rope. Disadvantages: melt when exposed to heat, so definitely something we need to be aware of. This stuff can melt down pretty easy. Advantages: excellent resistance to water, mildew, rot, and shrinkage. Long life with natural fiber ropes. Longer life than natural fiber ropes, excuse me. Lightweight yet strong, easy to maintain. So a big disadvantage, an advantage is excellent resistance to water, mildew, mold, rot, and shrinkage. It is resistive to it, but as you guys heard me earlier with the synthetic rope I have, it's not gonna avoid rot always. So it does happen. We have to watch for it. It's just harder to make these things rot. Natural fiber, plant fibers, manila, scylla, hemp, and cotton. Disadvantages: prone to mildew and mold, faster and easier in these types of ropes. Deteriorates when exposed to chemicals. Burns when in contact with embers or flame. And advantages of this are more resistant to sunlight than synthetic rope, and chars rather than melts. So the melts fails when exposed to heat. So this actually is going to char and not actually fail because of heat, when the other rope's going to actually melt and snap in half. So there's your first portion, objective 1 and objective 2. And we will continue on in here, get some more information and do some more work. Okay, so you guys hopefully took the notes. You can always pause and rewind if you need to get that done. Okay, thank you very much for your time. Take it easy. Bye.